Turn that light off. And we'll see. Let me. Hey, Jeremy. I meant to put up a thing saying live stream will start in a half hour or so, but I couldn't figure out how to do that. So, hey, William. Just thought I'd do a impromptu live stream. What are you guys up to today? I just uploaded a video, so it's probably not the best time to live stream. Like, literally, it uploaded like a minute ago. Let me. I've been on the lookout for a radial arm drill for here, but they just never show up over here. There was one a couple months back. I almost jumped on. There was I forget the brand of it. One like, Keith Rucker and all them have. Not far from me for 2,000, I think. But hey, Earl. I know there's a huge radial arm drill that I could have for free. That is larger. It's might be one size larger than Brian's, but there's no way it would ever fit in here because you have to pour a huge pad for it and all that stuff. So, hey, Andrew. Let me see if I turn that light off. There we go. Cut the glare down. I thought I'd do a quick live stream. It's been a while since I've done one. What size of radial arm drill there, Jeremy? Sorry, check my videos. Okay, there was a jet. Can't remember if it was a 3 foot or 4 foot arm at the scrap yard here about a month ago, but they were not kind when they unloaded it from whoever dropped it off. They smashed the the motor broke off the top of the column or the head. All the controls were smashed, and he wanted like $800 for it. It would have been a complete rebuild, so I passed on it. That's about. Of course, I'd like to get the biggest one I could fit in my shop through the door, but I wish I could put it outside. But hey, Daniel, because I do these motor adapter plates for a diesel shop. He brings me like 40 at a time usually, and I just drill the holes and tap them for him. He does all this. I don't know. For putting a certain kind of transmission behind a certain diesel motor, I don't know automotive stuff that well. But a radial arm drill press would be amazing for that job. It really cut down on my labor because I think it is. It's a pretty big plate. But they just never show up in my area. When they do, I will get one. Yeah, I've actually looked at some CNC stuff. I can make room for a machine. Around here, nothing CNC mills and stuff never show up used, like ever. I mean, they do on the west side of the state, but I'm not a real computer, and I'm sure I can figure it out. It's just computer stuff. I just cannot. I don't know much about computers, and so I'd have to learn all that stuff, and which I'm sure I could. But again, they just never show up when they do. They're crazy expensive over here. I am in Washington State, William. I could get a lot of use out of a, CNC plasma table thing that cuts out the shapes. I had an idea a long time ago where I'd sell people. Yard art is huge around here, so I'd get 2x2 plates, and for a certain price, I'd cut it out for them. That's still in my mind. Hey, Kentucky. And then I don't know much about CNC equipment, as I wouldn't be a buyer of a used one. I would have to have someone go with me. Because I'm wary about buying used welders that have a circuit board in them. I'd have to have someone who really knew their stuff go with me if I'm going to drop that kind of money on a used CNC machine. I mean, if it was plugged in a shop and they could send it through a cycle and all that, that. Yeah, a plasma table would be handy. Very, very handy. I make a lot of pump brackets for mounting pumps and motors on concrete slabs. So I could, and they're all pretty, for different motor sizes, they're pretty standard for the Baldor motors I get. So, I could save the program for that and just, throw a piece of steel in there and cut it out real quick. And I could make room for something like that. As long as I figure out how to use it. Yeah. I'm not familiar with those machines, but I'm sure they're nice. I looked at I don't know if it was a Mazak or whatever, at an auction. But again, I'm wary. I don't know if I would ever buy a CNC machine from an auction that wasn't hooked to power. It seems like there's a lot of things that could be broken that would be expensive to fix. I've seen the dual-headed bridge ports. There was one for sale here probably a year and a half or so ago. Besides the big plates I do for that diesel shop, I don't do a lot of repetitive. See, the bigger machine shops in my area don't do a lot of one-off jobs. They don't like someone walking in with a, you know, shaft or something and do this. They like big stuff, like big farm equipment, big excavator jobs, stuff like that, and they like parts runs. So I get a lot of, and a couple of the machine shops know me, and they'll send stuff my way. There's a couple that don't care for me. So I passed on a lathe about 2 years ago that had a tracer attachment that worked and everything. I didn't think I would use it, but now that I think about it, I think I probably should have got it. Yeah, I have a good follow up, a good a lot of small farmers and stuff know me and have told other farmers that if you need, these small jobs you need done, pumps and everything, they bring them to me. Especially around here because there's so much agriculture. If you take a pump to one of the bigger shops in July, you're 4 or 5 weeks out. Where I can do my best to get on it as soon as I can. Machining work is fun at all levels. There, William. I like just messing around with machines. I'll come out here and been spending a lot of time the last couple of weeks working on my different grinds on the shaper for tool bits. I wish I had a bigger shaper. Is that Fusion? I've heard of Fusion 360. Is that what you guys are talking about? If someone had one of those, what's that Grizzly milling machine? The small square column one, G070, whatever. You see a lot of those with CNC conversions for sale, and not a lot in the area. They show up. Same here, Jeremy. I do a lot of work for a lot of work with the farmers. Let's just say my freezer is never not full of meat. I'm a big fan of helping the little guy. So, thanks for stopping by, Kentucky. Yeah, I think it's a GO706. They show up pretty often here with various levels of CNC. That is true, Daniel. And see, that's the thing too. I have a full time day job, so everything from this is extra, and especially around here, the old farmers know where the know where there's always machines and stuff stashed. So I got a list of people that are looking for older lathes, mills, and stuff like that. So I pass, that stuff on. And I got a buddy with one of those Grizzly, the 13 by 36-inch lathes, and he has a full size machine shop. Like his equipment's all much bigger than mine, and they actually use that thing quite a bit. I'm ordering the belts for the horizontal mill tomorrow, and really, tomorrow I'm also going to I'm going to twist the milling machine over and get it lined up with the drive head. And once the belts are here, besides wiring in a drum switch, the job's essentially done. I do need to come up. I want to be able to use the clutch. It's not 100% necessary because I'll have the drum switch mounted somewhere close, but I'd like to be able to use the clutch. So I have all the linkages. I pulled them off the old bed. So once the belts are here, all I gotta do is mount the pulley to the that adapter plate that the old chuck was on, and that job would be rolling. Yo, yeah, the one from your old videos. Are you enjoying that lathe? I have a surface grinder, Jeremy, that I've only played with. As I like to say, I'm a maintenance machinist. I do just repair jobs. So I don't think I've ever used it for a job, but I've messed around with it. It's a Norton. Uh, but I do need to do some videos on it. Works good. The guy who I got it from completely rebuilt it. It's in amazing shape. I got 2 different mag chucks for it. Yeah, clutch is nice for tapping. And I think the power head for the horizontal mill looks cool. Some people disagree, but it's powering the mill, or will be. And I think if I make my other idea, there's going to be a pulley. I'm going to make the pulley bolt to that face to power the mill. I'll make another pulley I can slide on because that thing already its slow speed is like 12 RPM. I'm going to make it go slower, and I know it's probably not the best for its life. I'm going to make a rotating welding positioner out of it because I weld a lot of flanges on stuff. Hey, Guzzo. Yes, I love old machines. I love them because I can't afford newer, nicer things. So I get old stuff and use what I can. Yeah, they're good for getting stuff flat. I make so many bushings and stuff like that, fixing things and pump houses and stuff, pump housings and stuff. Oh yeah, and for making parallels, the surface grinder would be great for that. Yeah, headstock will be about perfect for that. That spindle on that was never designed to spin fast. You know, 400 or 500 RPM. I cut a lot. I do a lot of pump work, so I cut a lot of keyways. So what I've been doing on them now until I get that thing going is I have a tool post grinder with you know, I put the bits on it. Sorry, the cutters on that, and that's how I've been cutting my keyways. So I need to do a video on that tool post grinder. I really like it. I think it's missing a few parts, but it still works fine. Cut a keyway on a shaft beginning of the year for like 1,000 horse motor, and it took a couple passes, but it got through it for a. Is that a 1-inch key? So. So what I'd like to do is if I had space for all the machines I could have gotten, I would have so many I passed on 3 big turret lays this last 2 months, but they're the old cone pulleys, and I'm trying to get away from some of that. I think I'll put a thing, or maybe I'll do a video tomorrow. I would like to do a short live stream for the smaller, machinist channels. And of course, anyone can come in and join in or whatever. Once I need to learn how to add people to the stream. And I have that StreamYard, I think it is. So once I'll do some research on that. I'd like to do a weekly, scheduled stream for us little guys. Yeah, old lathes show up a lot around here. But they are, in this area, they are war. Very, very war. I need to finish cleaning my shop so I can do a video on that too. Yeah, I'd like to. I'll do a video on it to see when people would like to join, because I do have some people that watch in like Australia and stuff. So I like to find like a balancing point where, not that a lot of stuff I do or talk about is super interesting, but if people wanted to join in, it'd be open for people to do so. Zafella Metal Mill 52. Let me type that in. So I like to check out other small channels. I don't have the time to watch a lot of. I play them in the background mostly because I'm just certain times of the year I'm just so crazy busy. Okay, took a picture of that. Yeah, did much cleaning in here today and organizing. I went through the oil cans, and I have another box full of them. So I'm dedicating them to machines. So I'm sorting through all that stuff. Starting to put stuff in here as well. I got to do some work actually to the press right there. Where the pressure adjuster goes, the cap that goes over the packing thing's cracked. Still works, just leaks a little bit. You get a lot of use out of that press. I'm very happy with it. I wish I could put it outside, to be honest, like on a pad with a cover something over it. But I mean, of course, it's not very wide, but it's one of those things I wish I could have outside. You have on troubleshooting a mag check that's malfunctioning. How is it malfunctioning? I've seen them where you plug them in and they trip the breaker and stuff, and I've never been inside of one. I've heard once they start doing stuff like that, they're pretty much gone. But I've never been inside one to look at the wiring path and all that. I am subscribed to Foxberg's Fabric Goblin. I do enjoy his channel. We actually email back and forth a little bit. Yes, most are. You might check for stuff, check for continuity and stuff before the after, and see if it's something in the box itself. I don't know very much about mag chucks. I have two. One of them has a controller. The other one plugs right into the wall and is always on, I guess, 100% all the time. I also started watching, I'm going to say his name wrong. Let me look here. Let me get on YouTube. Kimber Zellick, I want to say. I've really been liking his channel lately. Um, don't know what that chip is. Yeah, the one mag check I have too with the controller is very old. I've got that tilting welding positioner out there. If anyone is remotely local and wants it, they are more than welcome to have it. I need to make some room for stuff on my back patio. I've got that big 2-wheel bandsaw out there. I've got my Logan turret lathe on my back patio. I've got another horizontal bandsaw on my back patio. Mine's probably earlier than that, I would guess. I don't know if it came with the grinder has war tags from World War II. Yes, I do have the huge grinder. It is outside where my shop comes in. There's a little cubby and it's right there. And it turns out to it because I only like to use it outside because it makes a mess. The chutes go straight down, it goes everywhere. I used to put a coffee can underneath them with like an inch of water, and that helped. It's actually going. I've been talking to there's a sandblasting place, and I've been a person turned me on to. And if I drop it off with no time frame of when I need it done, just a week or 2 or 3 weeks, whenever I can get to it, because there's really not much to it. Very good price for stripping it down to bare metal. The motor's completely enclosed, so I don't have to worry about sand getting stuff in there, besides the breather caps. And yeah, I'm going to probably probably in 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to do a video where I take the wheels off and hopefully don't drop them or anything like that. And I'm going to take it to the sandblasters, and they're going to sandblast it, and they're also going to primer it, I believe. Get it back here. And then I'm going to, I thought of an idea to put, it's got these 2 chutes that go down, these 4-inch pipes. Put some 90s on it, because actually a PVC fitting will fit right over them, and shoot it out the building. It's still, I'm still not comfortable turning it on. It's so big. It's 24-inch wheels. It spins only at 1,015 RPM, but still, that's a lot of mass. Yes, you can get wheels for it. The cheapest I've seen a wheel for it is $980. They don't make very fine wheels for it, is the problem. It's for aggressive work. I mean, the one flat wheel, because they're 4-inch, you can take one of those concrete form stakes, and you can almost push it in, and it'll grind it as fast as you can push it. And the droning noise it makes is interesting. It's like this deep reverberating drone. And when you shut it off, the wheels spin for probably 10 minutes. But for $200, there's no way I was not going to buy that. Yes, it is really not the most practical size grinder to have in a shop, but everyone who sees it loves it. And it looks big on video, and I'll do some comparisons on it. In person, it's almost comically large. Oh, it's I want to say it's 10 horsepower. I actually talked to when I went and got my 20-inch G&E shaper. I forget Fireball tool guy's name. He was there with that brother of the Smith guy. He was buying a lathe at the same property. He actually used his forklift to load my shaper on my trailer, which is super cool. And I talked to him about it. He doesn't have a bigger grinder. He doesn't have a bigger 2-wheel grinder like this one is. But I talked to him about it. But I can't get rid of it. It is cool. It's one of those things you just have and that you love, no matter what anyone else says. I would like to find like a smaller, like 14-inch grinder though. That'd be a little more practical. I've been using all this stuff is huge. For hearing protection, I'm unfortunately I'm very bad at that, but I use when I do wear it. Yeah, I'll never see one like this again. It came out of the shipyards at Bremerton on the other side of the state. There's actually a 14-inch grinder that they were selling with it that sold for twice as much as the big one did. I do need to, when I get one of the wheels off, one of the wheels has a little bit of a... Yes, it is. It's very... It's very hard to remember to wear safety glasses. I'm bad at it, especially on the lathe. I almost now if I'm cutting like cast iron and stuff, I quickly remember. But a lot of the time, I always forget. And when I'm using my normal bench grinders, I do. A lot of times I don't, and I know that's bad practice. That's why I don't show that stuff if I can avoid it. Um, yeah, I need to take one of the wheels off the grinder. It has some oil impregnation from a leaking seal on one side, so I want to bake the oil out of it. I have an idea. I it'll fit in my oven in my house. So I don't know if I could put it at a really low temperature. I'd have to make a tray because the oven racks aren't going to hold it. But I'm single, so I can do things like put grinding wheels in my oven. And I think if I put it in there at a really low temperature for a long time, it might bake the oil out of it. That's why I was thinking very, very low temperature. I need to consult people that know far more about it than I do. It doesn't seem to hurt it or anything. It looks bad. Because I don't want to do anything that might in the slightest bit affect the integrity of those wheels. The first couple of times I turned it on with a broom handle, and then like let it get up to pressure or get up to speed, and I walk over to it. And when I do use that big grinder, I make sure it's I'm probably the safest when I use it. I make sure my shirt's tucked in all the way, nothing's hanging loose. That's a good idea because they are actually Norton stones on it. So I will definitely consult with them. See, that's one thing, Jeremy. Uh, I don't mind. I post the stuff I do. I do setups that a lot of other people don't do or frown on. The machinist community, at least the ones who watch my videos, tend to be a lot better than, I hate to say it, but like the welding community, where, I mean, they'll jump on you for the smallest thing you did wrong or they think you did wrong. That's why I don't post a lot of welding videos, even though I do a lot of welding. There's so many different ways to set up jobs and to get a job done that as long as the job got done to measurement and got done safely, yeah, there's definitely faster ways to set stuff up. Uh, maybe better ways maybe you got away with something you shouldn't have got away with. But there's so many different ways to lay out jobs, to do jobs, especially in the home shop where there's no time constraint. You're not watching the clock. You don't got a customer standing in your, waiting in your driveway for you to load them up. That as long as it gets done to what you wanted, then that's really the only thing you have to worry about. And I like that. I'm a 100% self-taught machinist. Hey, Rivers. Very true. I'm 100% self-taught. I learned watching those old like 40s videos on straddle milling and stuff like that. And the more you do, the better you'll get, the faster you'll get, the better you'll get. And you'll almost look back on yourself a couple years later and you won't believe some of the stuff you used to do. And yeah, putting that stuff out there, people will go, "You're an idiot," that's I would never do anything like that. But it's it's just a different way of learning it. So, and generally the machinist uh, community is they'll give you tips and stuff. Some of them will rip into you no matter what you do. But it's a lot more forgiving than like the welding community and stuff like that. And most people, when they do comment on your thing, they're legitimately trying to help you. You know, with setups, cutting, using high speed steel carbide on some jobs or whatnot. They're usually not bad. So. Yeah, I still do all my speeds and feeds. I do them on my milling machines. The math, yeah, chip load per tooth, for the RPM, for the number of teeth on it. Mm. Grinding tool bits. I'm actually been very experimenting a lot with that on my shaper the last couple weeks, just for fun. And that's just something too. For especially softer materials, you can get away with a bit that's not as perfectly ground as it needs to be. And if you take lighter cuts, if you have I don't want to say a weaker machine, a less horsepowered machine, you can get away with stuff and still come out good, especially, slow your feeds and stuff up. And it's really not, you'll get good at that quick. The more bits you sharpen, it almost getting the release on the side and everything, it almost gets so automatic. I'm actually doing a thing on my big shaper. I had it laying here somewhere. I got a gear to cut on a project for that's out in the patio. So I'm going to grind the tool bit for that. And it's the first time I've ground a high speed steel blank to cut a gear tooth. So I'm actually looking forward to trying that. It's going to take me a couple tries. I'm not perfect. I'm nowhere near, amazing machinist at that kind of stuff. But I'll grind it till it's right, and that's what you do. You just do stuff till it's right. Hey, Hilltop Machine Works. Sorry, catching up here a bit. That's very true there, Daniel. That is a good idea. So maybe I'll definitely try to get a hold of them. If not, that's probably what I will try first to get that oil out of that wheel. When the wheel's in use, I don't see it really getting hot for how quickly I use it. The wheel is 20. Well, it's wore down a bit, so the wheel's like 22 inches by 4 inches thick. So it doesn't have time to build up a lot of heat. So, yeah, that's a good idea. It is good to see it making chips. I do more videos with it, but I don't know if people like to see the thing go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all the time. And I'm going to try some different mounts. It was suggested to mount the camera to the RAM. I'll give that a shot. We're going to get wet. Oh, yeah, for sure, Joe. I wouldn't turn that grinder on if there was the slightest chance I thought anything I did to the wheel might have lessened its integrity. So, yeah, I will contact Norton. It might be perfectly fine. So, it's not that much oil in it. The wheel doesn't get hot. Again, it's so it's so aggressive. You can actually turn it on, let it go up to speed, and the most I've ever consistently ground on it, because actually the rounded wheel on it is very good at cleaning up coping a 3-inch pipe. So I'll rough cut it and put it in there to clean it up. I use it for probably 2 minutes, then I shut it off, and there's so much momentum in those wheels. If you don't feed it super hard, you can still grind with the grinding wheel. So that's a good idea with the Mavic. I'm actually going to purchase a legitimate camera later this month or next month. So I stop using the phone. I've done every video I've had with my phone. It's time to upgrade. I told myself at 500 subscribers I'd upgrade a little bit, but that's been a while. But no, I want to. That's true, Daniel. If any of you have any suggestions, okay, I know nothing about technology stuff. I see there's all kinds of GoPros. I don't know what 4G is. I don't know what 5G is. If you guys have any suggestions, I would like the anti-vibration stuff for when I put the camera on a machine or something. So any suggestions would be greatly appreciated. And I do want to get a remote mic, I think, too. And I need to get software to do stuff. I don't want to put music and stuff in my videos, but I would like to be able to splice in pictures. That would be cool. I'm actually next weekend upgrading I think it's an iPhone. It's this. And this is I guess the cameras are like twice as good as they used to be when I got this. So, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, the speaker I think it's pooping out in mine, because I've noticed my recording volume is up and down, up and down. Hey, William. But would like to get a camera that I don't know if I could wear like a chest mount camera to like the swap meets and stuff. I don't know if I think I'd be too self-conscious to do that. This is how I am. But I would like to get a legitimate camera and get a editing software so I'd like to be able to insert pictures. I know those are lofty goals for YouTube people. Yeah, I'd like to be able to insert pictures and stuff like that. And the free software I use is I think it's called Movie Maker. It doesn't let you do that kind of stuff. I use an old Hero 4. The new GoPro seem to have too much software running. I've heard of those Rode mics. A lot of people really like those. So like I was saying earlier, Hilltop there, I was thinking of a once a week, no set time frame yet, live stream for us smaller machine shop channel guys. I need to learn how to add people to panels and stuff, which I will research and I will learn how to do that. I do have StreamYard as well as this YouTube thing. So I will figure out how to do that. I just haven't nailed down a time or anything. I'll probably do a video on it, asking people if they're even interested in joining in, Yeah, it's a quick, probably like 1 hour or so or whatever, live stream a week for some of us to join in on. I saw people sell older refurbished GoPros too. I'll look into that. for my age, I'm not very computer knowledgeable and technology stuff. And hey, Kenny. Yeah, I've asked him, and I sent stuff to a. I watch a couple other live streams that aren't machinist related, and one of those guys is going to send me links and stuff on how to add people to the panel, make moderators, and stuff like that. So I've heard too. So does anyone out there have any machines that have their eyes on for adding to their shop sometime soon? I'm always on the search for a radial arm drill press. That's going to be my next purchase. Yes, I do. I do have StreamYard, and the other people I watched use StreamYard, so that's the way I'll go with that most likely. I'd like to go get that horizontal boring mill out of the scrapyard, but it is rough. It's just too rough. The the two lead screws for the table, they unloaded it. It shattered all the cast iron stuff underneath there, and it bent both the lead screws. It is just unbelievably rough. Yeah, that's the first horizontal boring mill I've seen around here for a long time, and it's in the scrapyard. I just don't know. It is so beat. I was able to free up the head and everything like that with messing with it there, but it's an unbelievable amount of work. I might be getting a larger swing lathe, not too far off. I got a guy, older guy who has a machine shop. It's a home shop, but he has big machines. He has an Axelson that's about half the length of my Big LeBlanc, but it'll swing 2 inches more. And he's going to give it to me for free. He has a radial arm drill press that's larger than Brian's. His is on 2 semi trucks right now. He bought it from the naval shipyard. He's been trying to give it away to the machine shops around here, and none of them want it. I want the drill bits. He has bits up to 4 inch on it, but he won't part with those unless someone takes the machine. But the pad, I only have 4 inch thick pad. It won't fit through my door at all. There wouldn't even be the slightest hope of getting it in here. I can't put it outside, so. I like Axelsons. I really like Axelsons. My buddy who has a shop, he had one for a long time. I know they sometimes have problems with the rubber coupler, the drive coupler thing, but hey, Eleanor. Yeah, and I also know where there's a vertical turret lathe. It's sitting it's outside, it's covered and sprayed with oil. The guy is, his son says he'll never use it again. He hasn't used it in 20 years, but he's just not ready to get rid of it yet. But it has a 28 or 30-inch chuck on it. It's old. It's old, like most vertical turret lathes are. Dual head and all that. So I like every 3, 4 months to swing by. Hey, you ready to get rid of that yet? Because that would be cool. That would be handy on some of the pump casings I do. Re, you know, doing the mating surfaces and stuff. Now let's try to do a random live stream there, Eleanor. No, it's the only vertical turret lathe I've seen in this area in my entire life. But that, um, I thought about getting some more automotive type machines, crank grinders and stuff like that. A lot of people ask me if I do that, but automotive machining is a different thing. I'm not interested in rebuilding engines and stuff like that. I do need to get another portable line boring setup. I had what was it? It's the orange ones. It's a York, I think it was. And I did used to do a lot of line boring, and then the gearbox exploded on it. And I need to find another portable line boring setup. Because you can make a lot of money doing line boring out in the field. Mine was a York. It had the double bearings on it, so you'd weld them. You weld stand arms and run the double rollers through it, and had all the alignment cones and all that. Hey, Brandon. It's very true, Jeremy. What it is it's the machine. He used to work at a machine shop, and it was his machine. He was the only one at the shop that liked to use it. And when he retired, they gave it to him. So it has a sentimental value attached to it that is it's hard to cut into that with money. Yes, it is. Uh, I've done some flattened some heads and stuff like that, but beyond that, I have a great name of it. I have 2-cylinder boring machines. I'll do that. The kind you can use when it's in the vehicle. Van Normans. Yeah, Van Normans. I will do cylinder boring. That's about as far as I go with automotive machining. I got a valve grinder and stuff like that. Actually, a valve grinder, you can make a surprising amount of money with a valve grinder. And see, I would do that. I would get that machine running in my shop, and basically everyone I know in the area, if they want to come to my shop and use one of my machines, if I know that they know how to run one, I don't have a problem with. They come in handy, not a lot, but you can get a boring. I needed a cylinder board, so I bought a machine for the same price it was going to cost for me to have it bored. And those Van Normans are very good machines as far as easy setup and stuff. Mine, I bought the upgraded the cutters to the carbide inserts ones. It's heavy. That's the only thing I hate about setting it up. It is heavy. Because my big one, between my two, I can do pretty much any engine cylinder, except for probably really, really big ones. That's kind of the reason I got that. Speaking of letting people use machines, that small shaper, that small mill, I'm going to get another small lathe. I want to teach my kids how to use that. Yeah, they're nice machines, but that bigger one I have, every time I go to pick it up and set it up, I forget how heavy it is. But it does make a nice rigid setup though. There's another machine I'm looking for, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, a bigger vertical milling machine. I need to upgrade my vertical milling machine. I need my buddies who I use to sell me his. And then that would just solve that problem. If that tow truck driver hadn't tipped over that two head one from a couple years ago, I'd be set. But there was an incident on hauling it, which was my fault, not his fault at all. The person where we got its fault. It shit, as soon as it happened, you look back and like, man, we were idiots. No one got hurt or anything like that. So yeah, it's harder to find certain areas. Machine shops that do little work. The thing around here is there's so many government entities that ship out work to shops that that's where they get all their money. Then I am gonna get my vertical going with that speed thing. Yeah, an iron worker would be handy, but man, they around here just like metal brakes, they command high prices no matter how beat they are. I've been looking for like a 4 foot box and pan brake for like 2 years, and I'm able to find a decent one I was willing to pay the money for. But an iron worker would be amazing. Those piranhas show up sometimes around here. Hilltop is in Virginia, I believe. I may be wrong. $4,000 would be a screaming deal for an iron worker over here. When bigger machines do show up here, there's a lot of competition for them, which drives the prices up high. Me and a couple guys that go to the scrapyard, we have an arch nemesis who beats us to stuff all the time. So whenever any of us goes to the scrapyard and sees anything someone else is remotely interested in, we go ahead and buy it. That way they can come pick it up later. Yeah, I'd really like to get a radial arm drill as my next machine. I need one. I've needed one ever since I started doing those adapter plates for that guy. It saved me a lot of time. Plus, I like drill presses. So. Oh yeah. Thankfully, the scrap yards around here. I don't know if if you could call it a chain. They own two or three, but there's one that's independently owned. You can walk out there and buy whatever you want. They high grade some stuff you find out in the yard sometimes, depending if the owner or his son is there. You want to go there when the owner's there, because they don't mind if you go out there with it. Long ago, I used to, as safe as it sounds, I had a backpack set up with a small cutting torch I used to take out to the scrapyard with me. They won't let you do stuff like that anymore. And wearing your cutting torch setup on your back is probably not advised, but it came in handy. Yeah, I buy all my rounds from the scrapyard. I buy their drops. They sell a lot. There's a machine shop 2 blocks down, and then there's a big uh, crane place. They buy a lot of metal from there. So there's a lot of drops. And they stock a lot of good sized round bar, steel, aluminum, and all that. Very good selection. And then as far as new stuff too, that's where I pretty much get all my steel from, except for some specialty steels. I have to order, mostly like brass and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You guys will excuse me for just 1 second. I need to go shut a window over here. Okay, sorry about that. The wind's picking up out there. I love my scrapyard. I try to go there at least every 3 days after work. So I'm starting to work on that little shaper. Try to get it. It doesn't need much work, just mostly cleanup work. Probably the wiring done tomorrow. Be able to kick it on. I got to order a bunch of belts tomorrow for the horizontal milling machine, and probably for that some customer belts. They got a machine job showed up today. Working on this guy. I do these quite a bit. These are rollers inside of a wheat harvesting machine. That's the you can see how tore up that is. That's supposed to be a bearing fit for that. Got a little bit of a wiggle in there. So I'll be doing a video on this. This one's really rough. And the thing about these is it's deep inside the machine. So it can be bouncing around in there for a while before they realize something's wrong. And typically they catch fire because the bearing seizes up and the friction in there. And almost everyone who's brought one of these in said the only way they noticed it is that there was smoke coming out of the feeder part. I mean, that's wore down quite a bit. And this is not a very big stub that goes down in here. There's not a lot of pressure on these, so it gives you a lot more options on how to fix it. Yep, that'll be coming soon. And you can buy new rubber for these too. I guess I've been told they're getting pretty expensive new. Then I got a pump impeller. I'm going to shave an inch or so off coming in, I think, next week. Yeah, it should make for a cool video. I'm going to do it in the 16-inch Reed Prentice, which I don't know if I've showed me using it in any video. I need to. I make so many bushings and stuff. I don't want to my channel become the bushing channel, where 3 days a week I show you me making a bushing out of brass or something. I do so many bushings for tractors and stuff. I'm going to start showing more of my machining content. I need to do that. It's just with a full-time job, and then this, which is becoming another full-time job. It's so, I know it doesn't take long to set up the camera and stuff, but it just doesn't pop in my head. Especially a lot of times the guys, I used to live a couple towns over, and that's where a lot of my guys I do work for live. That's where their farms are. So they come over here. If it's only going to take like an hour or so, or hour and a half to get the job done for them, they stay here. And I feel weird setting up the camera and stuff when they're standing there, waiting for me to get their job done. It's your time is not your own when you're getting a part done for someone. That's why I haven't showed much of my. I'm gonna try to start showing more the welding and stuff, and pump work and stuff like that. But when you work on pumps with all the ag and stuff I do, I mean they needed it fixed before they called you. So you can't go to those places when they'll have their foreman or their worker guy there too, making sure everything's locked out and everything, and they'll have other hands there, and I can't say, hey, hold on guys, I need to get this in shot. No, your time is not your own. And almost all the field jobs I do, because I do work for smaller farmers, so in the off season they don't rehab a lot of stuff. They change pump diameters and stuff like that, so they bring it in here in the shop. But I don't do like big manifolds and stuff. So in the summer, it's patches on pipe, pump bases for replacing motors, upsizing motors, cracked housings and stuff. You just have to. You're just there to get it done. That's all. So I wish I could show more of that, and I will try. I actually talked to a couple of my guys about that, and they have no problem. And I thought about using a head mount. I mean, when I'm welding and stuff, I'd mount it to a hood. I would be worried that unless I really figured out the setting up of everything of it, I'd be so focused on what I'm doing, it'd probably be like above or off to the side of what I'm actually doing. And then sometimes when I'm on those tougher jobs, I swear a lot, so I'd have to not want that on camera necessarily. So. I'm actually thinking the other big LeBlanc. I'm going to do the. I don't not the Big LeBlond. The Big Reed Prentice. The guy stopped by 3 days ago and left a note on my door saying he thinks he found more parts for it. I need to get that project going. Now, I'm pretty good about checking myself on YouTube about swearing. I think I've done a good job. I'm very mindful of it. I've had to delete a few, or I've reshot a few videos. Okay, my shop is attached to my house, so I'm here. To go home, I walk through a door. So I spend all my free time out here. So in the background, you might see a beer can or something because I spend all my time out here. I don't watch TV. I haven't watched a TV show it's been years. I haven't watched TV. As soon as I get home, when my kids are not here, when my kids are here, I'm not out here. Unless it's a dire emergency, like your crops are dying or anything, I'm in the house. I'm with the kids 100%. My older kids are thankfully starting to take interest in what's out here, which is cool. But every other day of the week, as soon as I get home, I'm out here. I only go in there to eat and sleep. So sometimes in the background, you're going to see a beer can or so. Fine. I don't do it when I'm using a machine. Once I move the horizontal milling machine to put that power head to it, everything's pretty much in place for my shop tour. I'm thinking about rotating this. This is the last thing I'm trying to decide what. I kind of like it here, but at the same time, I kind of don't. It has really long feet on it, of course, to keep it stable. I really love this thing on my back porch under the patio cover, but it's too tall. But everything else is pretty much in its place. I put some wheels on that. I don't know if I'm going to put some wheels on that cart for the shaper and the mill. I was going to move them to a different cart. You do. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I need to get once I fit. It'll probably stay taking some measurements and stuff. Unfortunately, when I built the safety cage, I wasn't thinking, and now it's too tall to fit under the joist. Unless I cut it, it wouldn't be a big deal to cut it and re-weld it, but that's really the piece. I need to shift the Big LeBlond about another foot, and it's in its spot. So yeah, we'll go for a few more minutes here. And yeah, I'll call it night here. Well, not night. I got more. I mean, it's only 7:43 my time, so I'll be out here till probably 11. But I got some things I want to get done out here tonight. Because I also have some videos coming up on the Hypermac, the 15 by 50 lathe. That it's been quite a while since it's been on the channel. It will be there very soon. So I need to get that lathe up and going because it's my only high-speed lathe. Because I only have 4 lathes in the shop right now. I wish I had 5 and had another high-speed one. So yeah, we'll find a day a week or something to do a smaller machine channel stream, and whoever wants to join in. Brandon at BS Small Engines, check him out. He has a lathe. So, and of course, anyone with any size of machines, even if they don't have machines but want machines, would be more than welcome to join at any time. There's not a lot of. I haven't noticed a lot of live streams for. I mean, there's Heralds on Sunday, but I haven't seen a lot of other smaller machinist guys doing live streams. So we'll see. I'll pick a day. I got a couple people that watch me and we comment regularly on chair stuff in Australia. So maybe you have to factor in time zones there so they could join. Uh, Max is what I'm thinking of, and I feel bad for not remembering his name. But he comments in most of my videos too. There's another guy. Yeah, just where we can, talk about jobs we're doing, machines, and all that stuff, and random stuff. Because none of even the big machine channels really do live streams that I've really noticed. And I'll learn to do like I said, let people join and all that stuff. I'll learn all that stuff. I'll figure that out this week. Because it'd be nice if there was other people in here with me. So, okay, with that, I think I'm going to call this a wrap for the night. Thank you, everyone who has joined in, been in chat. Super thank you to everyone who's checked out my channel, watched any of my videos. I try to make them as interesting as I can. I know most of them aren't, but that's just the videos I put. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll post a video later this week for suggestions on time frame, day of the week, anything like that. Again, I'd like to make it inclusive to people who aren't in, like Max, and there's another guy they're in Australia. And there's not a lot of people that live stream earlier in the day. I'm not talking early, like 5 or 6 in the morning. But, where as many people can join as would like to. So if it's going to be earlier, it'll probably have to be on a weekend. But we will get some suggestions and get it figured out. Till then, thank you, everyone. I hope you all have an awesome night. And yeah, we will talk to you guys again soon.